So once again, welcome you all to this day 3 of this 5-day WhatsApp class of how you can use the Gap tools to develop mobile applications, right? So a quick overview of what we did in the last 2 days is that we just went through the different aspects of starting out to developing an app, right? So we learned about the 3 secrets of how you have to develop your idea, then you have to learn to develop the app, and then automatically produce an app which could solve the problem, right, which you're personally experiencing, or somewhere you find this as a problem that can be solved through the Android apps. So the first day we prepared like a 40 questions agenda, right, from which I validated certain ideas, and I will be validating further as well, some ideas as well. So that's the first thing. And on the second day, we went through what are the different tools you need to learn or you need to use so that you can develop a full pro Android app, right? And I also asked you to install some certain apps inside your mobile, like the X screen recorder. Then we learned about the companion app, and then you have set up your YouTube channel and Gmail account. So all this happened in the day 2. And now what is going to happen in day 3, right? Before that, guys, just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. There's a lot of color changes happening on my screen. Just let me adjust it once. Just hold on. Yeah. Thank you so much. So in day 3, it's all going to be, we are going to use the first tool. So we are going to today learn how to develop an app. Then after developing the app, I'm just going to make the app to be installed inside your mobile phone. I'm going to show you how it can be done. Then once that is done, what I'm going to do next is that I'm going to make you to record the working of the app and push it inside the YouTube channel. Fine. So that is going to be the process which we are going to do today. Good. So now let us get back into that, right? So the first tool, right, the basic tool where the first Gap tool, actually today is the classes where I'm just going to go inside the Gap tool. So today, the first Gap tool which I'm going to look into, or I'm going to teach you about today, is the MIT App Inventor, right? So this is basically a kind of an application over internet. You can use this application only over internet, right? Where you can use the blocks which is already predefined, put it together, develop your own mobile applications, and just run it inside your mobile phones, right? So what is the app which we are going to learn today? Okay, I'm going to teach you a simple app. It's not going to be something advanced phase where we are going to use lot of learnings. It's going to be a very simple app. I'm going to demonstrate it first, and then I will take you through how you have to open up the MIT App Inventor and start developing the app, right? So let me make a demo of the app where I'm going to share you my mobile. Yes. So I'm just jumping into my mobile screen, and I have an app known as a color changer app, right? So this is the simple app which I have. Okay, this is a very simple app. If you just take a closer look at this app, what are the components I'm having here is, this is an image. Okay, and what is the next thing I have is that I also have a button at the bottom. Okay, an image in the middle of the screen, and at the bottom I have a button. And another thing which I have is this plain white area, right, which I call it as a arrangement. Okay, it's actually a layout. I called it as layout. I will be telling what are these components and what is it exactly doing once I get inside the MIT app. As of now, just observe what the app is going to do and what I see. So these are the 3 things I have inside my first app. So if you just take a closer look at this, right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the button, right? Once I start press the button, the background white color is going to change into different colors, right? The background white color is actually going to change into different colors. So for example, let me click this. So if you see now, From white, it turned to green. Now, if I click it again, it turns to another color. If I click it again, it turns to another color. If I click it again, it turns to another color. And if I just keep on doing this, I start getting different colors. So this is a random color, right? I'm not having any predefined colors. If you want any predefined colors also, you can do it. But what I did was, as long as I keep on pressing the button, it will keep on producing me different colors of variations of colors, right? So today, first we are going to learn how this basic interface of this MIT App Inventor is all going to be. Then how you can develop this kind of an app, get it inside your mobile and run it inside your mobile. Fine. So that is the process which we are going to learn today. Right. So how many of you are clear with what we are going to learn today? If you are clear with what I'm going to teach you today, can you just type in the chat box clear? Yes. Thank you so much, Rishi. Okay, one sec. Rishi, Hardik, Suchita, yeah, Chintan, Krishna, Harshit, Krishank, Lavesh, and Madan. Yeah, thank you so much, and others. Good. So this is what which we are going to learn today. Now, let us start getting inside the tool, right? So as I told you, the first tool which I'm going to teach you today, or we are going to use today, is MIT App Inventor. So how you have to log in inside your MIT App Inventor. I'm going to share my screen now. So what you have to do here is, always our best guru, right? Go to the Google, who's always our best guru. And you have to type the word known as MIT App Inventor. Once you search this, you will find this link, appinventor.mit.edu. Right? Click on this. It will open up another window where you will get inside the MIT App Inventor development area. So here, the first step is that Arvind is asking in laptop or mobile. I would suggest preferably in laptop, not in mobile, because the components which we are going to use inside this app development is that it will require a lot of things to be dragged and put it onto a screen. So it is always better to operate with a mouse, right, rather than picking it from your hand and putting it into your mobile, right? And sometimes if while you're doing it inside the mobile may tend to get stuck up, because that's a compact device, right? And this is somewhere you are going to develop some advanced stuffs as well. So I would prefer you working with laptops or desktops rather than mobiles. Once the app is developed, you can put it inside your mobile and run it and see. Yeah, hope Arvind's question is answered. So once you get this inside the screen, what you have to do next is click on the create apps, right? So here it goes on to the next screen. It will ask a Gmail ID to log in. So that is why I first asked you to set up your own personal Gmail ID, without which you will not be able to develop even a single kind of an Android app. A Gmail ID is a must when it comes to developing Android apps. Fine. So what you have to do is that you need to sign in with Google, use a Google account to sign in. And once you get inside the screen, this is actually the project area. But actually what will happen is that this will be empty for you. Okay. Since I have developed a lot of projects, I have projects here, right? But for you, it will be an empty screen. Okay. And this particular full screen, we call it as the project areas, where I have different projects listed out. Okay, what are these projects, right? A project is nothing but an app. For example, if you take in your mobile, Facebook or WhatsApp or Instagram or any kind of an app, right? All these apps, each individual app is a separate, what do you call, a project. Okay, it's called a separate project. So each project is an application. So what you have to do is that you need to create a new app, which means that you need to create a new project. So what you have to do, first step is that you need to click on start new project, and give a name to your project, right? Since this is a WhatsApp class, I'm going to give this name as WhatsApp class. Okay. Since I have already a lot of apps inside here, I don't want it to confuse for me, right? So I'm creating a new project. So once I created, see here, the WhatsApp class got added here, and it will automatically take you to another screen. So this is the actual major development area. Okay. Okay, Adarsh is asking, sir, will you tell me how to upload apps to Play Store? Yeah, it will take some time, Adarsh. Please hold on. Not today. That portion comes tomorrow. Yeah. So now this is the major development area, right? So when you take this development area, no, there is actually 4 important things here. Okay, there is 4 important areas in this particular screen. What are the 4 important areas is that the first most important area. Okay, let me highlight that. Okay, the first most important area is this. Okay, so this area we call it as the user interface area. Guys, whoever is touching on the screen with the annotations, please stop that. Okay, right? Okay, so this is the user interface area. So here you have a lot of options, right? You have the button, you have the checkbox, you have the date picker, image, labels. See, all these are components where a user can interact with it, which means that you and me, whatever we interact with the mobile, no, for example, if I just stop my screen and if I just get inside my mobile, and let me say I open my WhatsApp, yeah, right? So what are the interactive area I have here? See, if you see here, right, this is actually a list view button. Okay, once I can click on it, so that's an user interface button. Next, here the status, this calls, the chat, then you have a camera button here, the search button here, the notification buttons here, right? All these things are where I can interact with the app. So that is what is the user interface components. Fine. So getting back here, so these are some of the components which you use inside your app. For example, a button, a checkbox, a date picker, image, label, list picker, list view, notifier, password text box, slider, spinner, switch, text box, time picker, and web viewer. All these are the user interface. And there is a lot more, okay? Once you click on layout, you have horizontal layout, horizontal scroll layout, table layout, vertical layout, vertical layout. Then media, when you go to media, you have the video recorder, camera, image picker, player, sound recorder, speech recognizer, text to speech, video player, translation service. Then when you go to drawing and animation, you have ball, canvas, and image sprite. Then maps. Then you have the different sensors, right? For example, accelerometer, barcode, barometer, clock, gyroscope, hygrometer. All these are different types of sensors, right? And then you have the contact picker, email picker, sharing, texting, Twitter, then phone number picker. Then it goes to storage. You have the cloud database, file, tiny database, and tiny web database. Then you have Bluetooth, internet, right? And even you can connect Arduino, right? That's a serial communication. Then you have Firebase database, and you have a lot of extensions which you can add as well. So this is about the user interface palette. So this is the first important play area inside the developing the app. The second most important area is this viewer area, right? So this particular area is the second most important area when I take it into the screen. And what is this area is? This is called as viewer area. In the viewer area, what you will be able to do is you will be exactly able to see how my application will look inside my mobile. For example, let me say I drag a button and put it inside my app, right? Let me say I drag an image and put it inside my app. And let me say I drag a switch and put it inside my app. right? So this screen viewer area shows how my app will look after I install my app inside the mobile. Fine. So this is about the viewer area. Let me delete all these components. And finally, the third one, okay, the third one is this particular area, which I call it as components. Okay. Fine. So this is, I call it as components. So what are the components I am using inside my app? When you take this palette, no, all the components are present. But when it comes to components, only the palette items which I'm going to use it inside my app will be available here. For example, if I drag a button, if I drag a checkbox, and if I add a date picker, see here, inside the screen one, I have button ones, checkbox, and date picker. Right? So these are the things. Right. And finally, when it comes to the fourth one, which I call it as the property. Okay, so this is the fourth one. This I call it as the property window. Okay, so what is this property windows is that now if I want to change the colors of the button, or I want the text to be changed, all these are called as properties. And this is the place I can edit it. For example, let me say I edit the button. For example, let me make the alignment center and center. And if I have the button like this, let me say I want the button to be bold. If I change the background color to be blue, and if I want the font size to be 18, and I can make the width around like 90%, right? Shape like rounded, and text like click me, right? And again center, and text color like white. So if you take a closer look at this, right? So whatever the changes I made, now the buttons looks good. So like this, each and every component I can vary or adjust all the different properties. Okay, so these are the four important screen when it comes to designing the app, right? Till this portion, it's all about designing. The next portion is all about how I interact with the app. For example, if I click the button, what should the app do? That's a different section. So if you take a closer look at this top right corner, this portion, okay, you have two buttons known as designer as well as blocks. So the designer is always about how my app looks, right? And when I go to the block section, it is all about how my app works. Okay, so designer is all about looks, and blocks is all about how it works. This is the two difference. Okay, so designer is about looks, blocks is about how it works. Fine. So what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to clear it, right? Yeah, and let me get back. Okay, how many of you are clear with this portion till now? If you're clear, can you just type in the chat box what word we can use? UT. Yeah, understood. Let it be UT. Okay, good. Okay, it's not UD, it's UT. Yeah, great. Awesome. Right, now let me come back. I will delete this button and I'll again do it from the first, right? So if you remember what I did in my app, no, let me get back into the app again and show you, right? I have an app here. So if you take a closer look at this, there is a image, there is a button, two components, that's it. And at the background, this is a layout. Okay, this entire thing is a layout. So three components. So now I'm going to use this three components inside my app. So let me clear this, stop here, and get back inside my app development area. Right. So the first step always is to use a layout inside your app. Right. Why a layout? So I will show you why this layout is now required. Right? Let me say that I make this layout fill parent as well as fill parent. Okay. This is actually a vertical layout, right? So if this vertical layout is added, and if I start adding buttons inside this, see what is happening. As I keep on adding button, it adds from top to bottom. So button 1 is at the top, then button 2, then button 3, then button 4, and finally button 5. So it adds from top to bottom. This is about vertical arrangement. Now let me delete this. And let me say I go to the layout and I bring in an horizontal arrangement. And I make the height fill parent so that it will occupy the entire screen, and the width also fill parent so that it will occupy the entire screen. And now I start adding buttons. So 1, 2, 3, and it goes from left to right. So vertical arrangement is from top to bottom, and horizontal arrangement is from left to right. And if I go to the layout, there are more arrangements like table layout, right? Table is rows and columns. Fine. So for our app, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use only a vertical arrangement. I'm not going to use a horizontal arrangement. So let me drag a vertical arrangement and put it inside and make the height fill parent. So I'm editing the properties of the vertical arrangement. Height fill parent means it will occupy the entire parent area. Okay. So it will occupy the entire parent area. And if I make the width fill parent, again, it will occupy the entire parent area. So height and width. So now inside this, I need two components. What are they? One is going to be an image, right? And below this, there's going to be a button. Simple. Now, if you see a closer look at this, I want the image and the button in the middle of the screen, not at the top left corner. So in order to bring it to the left of the screen, what you have to do now, you have to adjust the property known as alignment. How I can adjust it? Go to the vertical arrangement, right? Click on this. You see the properties here. You have something known as align horizontal and align vertical. So I can click on this, and if I make it center, it comes to the middle. And if I click the vertical option and click on center, it comes to the middle, right? Or if I just want it to the left, if I want it to the left, it will be at the left. Or if I want it to be at the right, it will be at the right. And if I want it at the top, it will be at the top. And if I want it at the bottom, it will be at the bottom. Now I made it center and center, right? The next thing is that I need to adjust the properties of the button. So as I already told you, you can change the background color. You can make the font bold. Then you can change the font size like 16. And you can make the size, the width of that button to be like 90% or 95%, whatever you want. And the shape like rounded. Or if you want the oval, you can make it oval. Or if you want default, you can have it default. Or you can make it rounded. I always prefer using rounded. And when it comes to the text, make the text like click me. All right. And you can make the text alignment center, the text color white. So now the button is ready. The balance is the image, right? So in order to get an image here, first I need to get an image, right? So you can get images from Google very easily. So go to Google, right? Whatever the image you want, know what you have to do now, type that word whichever you are searching for and just add the word PNG. Okay. So Android PNG, you can go to the images and there are a lot of images you can download from. Okay, so this was the image I used, correct? Fine. So I will download this. So how to download this? Just right click on this and there will be an option known as save image as. Click on that and you can go and save it inside wherever you want. Fine. And I'll come back here. Once you have downloaded and put it inside your app, once you have downloaded inside your system, the next step is to put it inside the MIT App Inventor. How you can do that is, if you come to the bottom here, near the media, you have an option known as upload file. Click on this, choose the file, right? Go to the option wherever you have stored it. I have it in my pictures section, right? And Android, and I open it. So now see the file name android.png, and I click OK. Once you have done that, see the file is now here. Okay, the file is now here, and you need to set this image to this. So let me now adjust the properties. First is height. Let me say I will have the height like 60%, no, 70%. Yes, right, and the width like 90%. Yes. And now I need to bring in the picture. See here, you have the properties known as picture, right? Click on that. You will have a lot of options. Android.png and OK. Over. So now the app design is over. Very easy. Okay. App design part is over. The next part is to make sure that once I click that click me button, right? What should happen? The vertical arrangements color has to change to different colors. Understand this? Once I click the click me button, right, the vertical arrangements color has to keep on changing to different colors. That's the process I need to do. So how I am going to do that? Okay. What you have to do is that you have to make a shift now. What is the shift? Go to the block section, right? And the next step, what you have to do is you have to write the blocks. It's like dragging and dropping. So if you see here, okay, once in the block section, no, let me highlight that. This particular area, right, there are already a lot of inbuilt blocks inside the MIT App Inventor. So what are the blocks? See here, you have, once you click the control, there is a lot of if and else, close, open. Each one has a different function, okay? Logics, math operators, then text, lists, dictionaries, colors, variables, procedures. Then screen one has some options. Then vertical arrangement has some options. Image has some options. Button has some options. And you will also have one more thing, any component. Don't worry about the any component now. It will confuse you. Right. So now, what should happen? Only when I click the button, the vertical arrangements background color has to change to some other color. Right. So if you click on button and you just scroll up, there is an option known as button one dot click. When I click the button, so you need to first drag this block and put it inside your app. Right. Once I click this button, the vertical arrangements background color has to change. So go to the vertical arrangement, and you have an option known as set vertical arrangement dot background color, right? And what color I have to set, right? Now here comes the next part. When it comes to computers, no, see, our eyes can understand different colors easily, okay, because of the laws of reflection and lot many things, right? So there's a pure science behind that. But how computer can understand color is based on three colors. One is red, the second is green, and the third one is blue. Okay, this is one type of variation. There is almost there are another variations known as HSV, right? Then you have CYMK. Don't worry about that. You take the idea of RGB, that is red, green, and blue. Any color in the world you take is a combination of these three primary colors, right? So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to go inside Google again, right? What are the different color options available? So what I'm going to do is just going to go and search Google, sorry, and here type HTML color picker. Okay, search for HTML color picker. Now come here. See what I told you. No, there are different variations available. One is hex code, another is RGB, one is CMYK, another is SSV and HSL. You don't worry about the other three or hexa value. Just concentrate on RGB. Right now, let me say I make my RGB values 0, then again 0 and 0. If it is 0, 0, 0, then the color is black. That's the purest black, right? if the color is, all the colors are mixed together, like X, RGB are mixed fully together, the maximum value of R will be 255, the maximum value of G will be 255, and the maximum value of V will be 255. So if I make all the three of them 255, 255 and 255, then it becomes white. If I remove one color, let me say I make R alone 255, then it becomes red. Then if I make G alone 255, right? So 255. Then G green, okay? So it becomes green. Then if I make blue alone 255, then it will become blue, right? And if I can combine different variations of colors, for example, let me say this alone is now 255. So it's a combination of green and blue, which is a light blue. And if I can mix some red, for example, let me say I mix a red of 100. Now see, there is a lighter, more blue. So any color you take here, from dark blue to violet or pink or red or yellow or green or any color you take here, right? It's always a combination of RGB. So I am going to use this RGB concepts to produce color inside my MIT App Inventor. Right? How many of you understood this color concept? Right? If you understood it, type CC, which means color concept. CC. Yeah. Good. So this is how computers actually understand color. Okay. Wherever you go, right? When you take Photoshop, when you take CorelDRAW, when you go to Canva, wherever you go, this is how systems understands colors. Right? Good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this vertical arrangement dot background color to some values of RGB. All the values of RGB, it's just going to be a random value. I'm not going to put a fixed value. I'm going to put some random values. How I can do that? What I will do now, here if you go, there is an option known as colors. Just scroll down. There is an option known as make color, right? Make a list of R. See, if you, they have three values here. First value is R, second value is G, third value is B, right? So I can give the color directly also, but now I'm not going to do that. I'm going to have each and every time I click the button, I want different colors. I don't want the same color to come again and again. So how I can do that is I remove this, put it in the dustbin. Done. Thrown into the dustbin. Now, how I can generate that random color is, if you go to the math operator, there is an option inbuilt known as random integer. What you have to do now is you just need to duplicate this, put it here, duplicate this, put it here, right? And what will be the color of RGB? Minimum 0, maximum 255. So what you have to do is that a random integer from 0 to 255, then a random integer from 0 to 255, and a random integer of 0 to 255. That's all. Your app is ready. Right? Now, once I keep on clicking this, each and every time, a random value of R will be generated, a random value of G will be generated, and a random value of B will be generated. Right? And each and every time, this combinations produces different colors. Right? Now, I have designed it. I have added the blocks, and the code is now ready. Before downloading and installing the app, or before launching the app, I need to make sure that my app is working correctly. Because if my app is not working correctly, then I should make the corrections to the app, right? This is where the MIT AI2 companion app, which you have downloaded and installed inside your mobile, is going to work. A lot of people yesterday in the WhatsApp group, you kept on asking me, what is the code? What is the code? What is the code? Okay, Suchita is asking a question. if we want specific colors in a pattern, then what should be done? You have to use like if and else, Suchita, right? Uh, okay, Suchita, what you will be doing is that you will be putting a variable which will have a count, like count 1, count 2, count 3, count 4. So once you click the button, the count keeps on increasing. And as and when the count keeps on increasing, whatever the color you have assigned, that color has to be picked and put it on. That can be done, but again, that you need to explore and do the if and else part and work it out. Hope Suchita's question is answered. Yeah. Good. So now getting back to the topic, a lot of you people were asking me yesterday, what is the code I have to put in the MIT AI2 Companion, right? Guys, only after you develop the app, you can use that MIT AI2 Companion. Fine. Good. So now what you have to do to test is, if you just go to this connect option here, right? There is an option known as AI Companion. You need to click on that first. Once you do that, see your code is now here. XUEWJH. Okay. Don't go and put the code inside your app now, right? Because I'm going to test and show you. If I use it, then you cannot use it, or if you use it, I cannot use it. So don't do that, right? Once you develop the app in your own MIT App Inventor, it will generate some random code. Then what you have to do next is you need to get inside your MIT App Inventor. Sorry, MIT AI2 Companion. I'm going to show that now. Yeah. So here I have my MIT AI2 Companion. I'm clicking on that, right? And now it asks me the 6-character code. So my 6-character code is XUEWJH. Fine. And once I click connect with code, okay, now the code is working at the back end. It's coming up. 1 second. Yes. Now you see, whatever we designed there, now the app is directly inside the mobile. I have not yet downloaded it. I have not yet got the APK file. I have not yet installed the app. The process is very simple. Now if I click on this, I can see the working of the app inside my mobile. So it's a live testing. This is what we call it as live testing. Within a fraction of a second, you can test this. So I just keep on clicking. I can keep on getting different colors. Fine. Now once I click the back button, it goes off. Now again, let me come back to my laptop screen and get back here. Right, the companion is disconnected. Okay. Now my app is ready. Now I need to package it and get it as an APK file so that I can share it with different people. See, in Companion, you can only live test the product. Okay, you cannot share it with other people. Okay, it's a testing phase. Now the testing is over. The next phase is to launch it. How I can launch it? Again, go to the build option here. There are two options. One, you can get a QR code for your APK file, right? Then you can use your mobile and scan it and download and install it. Second option, you can use a .apk file to my computer, right? What I'm going to do now is I'm going to get a QR code for .apk file. So I'm just getting the QR code. So now the project gets built, and once the building is done, what will happen is that it will produce a QR code. It will take some time. Sometimes it happens pretty much quicker, and sometimes it takes some time. Okay, maybe like 2-3 minutes, not more than that. So now the app is completely getting packaged. Okay, and once the packaging is done, it will give you a QR code. Yeah, now 100% over, waiting for the barcode. Yeah, see, the barcode is now generated. The next step, what you have to do, no? Again, get back inside your MIT AI2 Companion app. What I will do is I will go to the screen here, open the MIT AI2 Companion app. Now, there is an option known as scan QR code. Click on that and open the link on the screen. So now I have scanned the screen. Automatically, the next step, what it will do is that it will download the app, right? So it will ask you to download. So you can download it. By the way, once you click, okay, now the app asks to install. Click on install. Please make sure that once you are doing this for the very first time in your mobile, and once you click this install button, which I did now, your mobile will prompt up a screen saying that the app is harmful, do not install it. When it is saying that, don't install. Okay, there will be two options: install it anyway or do not install. If you click on do not install, your app will never get installed. You need to regenerate the QR code again, and then only you can install. Fine. So what you have to do is that you have to select the option install anyway. Okay, my mobile didn't do that because I have made the settings according to it. Right? It's completely safe. Don't worry, that's nothing harm. Since the app is not coming from a Play Store, Google always tends to say that the app is harmful. Don't worry about it. This is an app which is being developed by you. Don't worry about it. Nothing is going to happen to your mobile phone. I'm 100% guaranteed about that. Fine. So now my app is ready, WhatsApp class, and now I just open it, and there you have my app done inside my mobile. Simple. So if I click on this, the app just gets changed with the different colors. So this is how you can develop app without even writing a single line of code using the graphical Android programming tool known as MIT App Inventor. This is one tool I'm sharing you today. Tomorrow, what I will be doing is that I will take you to the more advanced tool. Okay, this is a basic tool. Okay, to develop the basic kind of apps, to understand the basic functionalities of developing an app. Once you understand this, there is an advanced tool where you will go through more advanced structure. Fine, right? So how many of you are able to catch up until this point? If you are able to understand till this point, just type in the chat box me, right? Yeah, Krishna got it. Arvind got it. Harshit, Suchit, yes. Awesome, 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 guys. Good. Yeah. So this is how you can develop apps without even writing a single line of code. Now I'm going to go into the task for the day, right? Okay, now you are asking me, how does the icon show on mobile? Yeah, 1 second, I will show you that. If I take the app now, right, here is my app. This is how the default icon is. If you want to change this icon, it can also be done, right? If I want you to change the icon, just go to the MIT App Inventor, click on OK, go to the designer section, click on screen 1, right? And in the properties window, just scroll down. There will be something known as icon. Click on this, upload the icon you want, and select that. That's it. Okay, so you can even change the icon. No issues. Right? But hope, I think so, I have answered Harshit's question. Yes. Good. Now, what I want you to do is, I want you to make a recording of the working of the app, get it as a video, and push it inside a YouTube channel. Right? That's going to be the assignment for the day. Right? I want you to make how you have created this app. Right? In fact, I don't want you to take the entire development process and make a tutorial video. What I want you to do is only the working of the app. That's enough. Right? For example, how I'm going to do that is, open the X screen recorder, right? Probably 1 second. Yes. once you open the X screen recorder, right, I'm going to now record the working of the app. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this and start my recording process. Okay, it will ask me X recording will start capturing everything that's displayed on your screen. Don't show again, start now. Okay, now my app is starting to record actually. So now I'm opening my WhatsApp class, right? I'm clicking on this, okay, and I come back. Okay, where did that go? What happened? Where did it really go? One sec. Not able to find it. Okay, let me get back again. Okay, so I click on this and I start the recording option. Okay, something is happening. Yeah, 3, 2, 1, and it's beginning. Yes. See, now my app is now started recording. Right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it and show what are the things, or just make some. Okay, is it X screen recorder or X recorder? I think so. Both are same, right? No mistakes in that. If you would have, what did I told you yesterday? Was it X screen recorder or X recorder? That I'm just finishing this app. Okay, let me close this. Yeah, done. Right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the video and show you how it is working. See, my app is now started recording. Okay, one second. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to. I'm sharing my screen. Okay, what did I say yesterday? I said X screen recorder. Okay, it's actually X recorder. Sorry if I made a mistake, but the functionality was screen recording, so I would have mentioned that. So now if you take a close look at this is the video I just recorded now. See, my app is now started recording. Right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it and show what are the things, or just make some. Okay, is it X screen recorder or X recorder? I think so, both are same, right? No mistakes in that. So now I just made the recording completely, which we did, right? So the screen alone is getting recorded along with the voice I spoke, and as I spoke, whatever had happened, then I stopped it. Right? So once you have done this, if you want, you can go to the InShot, add some editings, add some mashups or whatever you want, right? And then you can actually push it into the YouTube. How you can do that is, here you have the option known as share, okay? This button. Okay, so what I want you to do is, click on the share button, right? And it will show up a lot of options. Click on YouTube. Right? And it will take you directly to YouTube now. Very simple. And then type the titles. Okay, for example, let me say this is a WhatsApp class, right? Description, demonstration of uploading video. Is it public? Yes, public. If you want to add location, yes, I can do that. I'm from Chennai, so let me put it on Chennai, right? And done. You can just now click upload, and the app just gets uploaded. Once uploaded, it will be processed. So the processing also started and completed. And once the processing is also done, the video is ready. And now you need to share it in the YouTube, right? For example, how I can do is that click on share. Okay. What I can do is that I can straightly go into my WhatsApp and okay, here it is, the group which we use, and done. Okay, who did this? Okay, okay, YouTube channel. Fine, no problem. Good. So this is the task I want you to do today. Okay, develop your first Android app. Make a video recording and just go to the YouTube and push it. Right. I want you to get hands-on on the tools first. Right. Why you ask me YouTube is to get you hands-on on YouTube. That's it. Right. Nothing else. Fine. Good. I think so. We are almost like Harshit is asking same app or other. I will leave that option to you, Harshit. If you wanted to do something innovative, go do. No problem. If you wanted to repeat the same app also, you are pretty welcome to do it. Right? I want you to go and explore the tool on your own. That's it. Very simple. Right? I've given you the complete open source knowledge. Now, taking it up, it is in your hand. Very simple. Right? There is a lot many things you can do with this app. Right? For example, if I just show you my mobile phone itself, see, there are some interesting apps here. See, I have login screen, I have music player, I have a mini Wikipedia, right? See here, I can use a list picker, choose some sensor and have a knowledge about the sensor, and I go to the home screen, then it opens up a pop-up window. Then if I click yes, it goes to the main menu. Then I can close this app. Okay, sorry. Go to my MIT App Inventor again. Then you can use a bill calculator. There is a translator app also, right? If you take a close look at this, I use a translator app. For example, this converts whatever I say it in English. For example, let me type up some words. Okay. Hi, how are you? Or leave off this hi. Right. See this? I'm just now made the how are you, right? And if I click on translate message, see there, it converted whatever I typed in English to Hindi. And the most beauty, what you know, no, this also speaks Hindi now. You want to see that? So I'm going to click that speak button now.
कैसे हैं आप? कैसे हैं आप?
Right? So it also speaks Hindi. Like this, I can make it to speak like 240 languages. There's a whole science behind it. Right? So this is about the first Android app developing. I think so a lot of people have developed 40 different ideas, right? Maybe you can pick one of that and start working the first main screen. What it should do when I open the screen. Okay, right. Now what I will do is, hope everybody is clear. I will open up for the question answer session for the next 5 minutes. There's a question from Mother. Okay. There's a question from others first. Sir, I have created a camera app using this MIT AI2 app inventor. Or some others, record the video, push it into YouTube. I want the YouTube links. I don't want the APK files. I'm not going to download and install it and check, right? Basically, I'm going to check only your video. I'm going to YouTube and watch your video. Right. Madan is asking, is there any maximum complexity for the app created using this MIT inventor in terms of logic, UI, UX? Please answer with real app examples like calculator apps, Kata books, TikTok, Ola, POS, or marketplace apps. Okay. Maximum complexity for the app created. Is there any maximum? Guys, I don't want any personal video links, right? Put the video links inside the group when I open the group tomorrow. Not now. Not now. Okay, Madan, I'm not able to exactly get your point, right? What I would like to do is I will bring you on the hot seat, right? So that I will identify what is the question first. Madan, I'm unmuting you. Just unmute yourself and speak. Yeah, Madan.
Yeah, my doubt is that so how complex the app can be created using MIT inventor.
Okay, so how much complex apps you can develop? For this, Madan, I'm going to give you another tool. See, using this MIT App Inventor, you can develop a complex apps the maximum complexity of the app can be getting it connected with the Google Firebase. This is the highest connectivity possible inside MIT App Inventor. But when it comes to the UI and UX, right, I'm going to show you one more tool which I'm going to teach you tomorrow, right? See here, the tool is going to be something known as Cordilla. Okay, here is an app. See here, I have an app known as Login Tutorial. How many of you know that when you open an app, some apps ask you to sign in with Google, right? Now see this app and the app which we used to develop using the MIT App Inventor. The look of the app itself is completely different here. See, you have a button known as sign in button with Google. So if I click this app now, it will go into the sign in of Google. It looks like a professional app. Look at this. This is what I'm going to show you tomorrow. This is a very professional app, which I developed using just, and see the animations coming up high. The Lottie animations. Yesterday I taught you about Lottie animations, right? I'm just using a Lottie animation inside my Android app. And if you see closely, no, I never gave any name here. See this? Whatever the email ID shows, from that email ID, the username is getting here and it is displaying here. This is the complexity you can do using the gap tools. But MIT App Inventor will be able to do only till getting connected with the Firebase or the Google Analytics. So I just click on logout. Okay, let me, okay, sorry. Okay, I can show you one more app if possible. Right, see this floating action button. In fact, the floating action button instead of floating action, yeah. See here, with these animations, the buttons popping up. This is the complexity you can go. Right, this I will be teaching you tomorrow. Hope Madan's question is answered. Okay, next question is from Aravind. Sir, can I also change the click me button, sir? I leave it up to you, Aravind. It's up to you. Right? There is no particular definition I'm going to have, or this is what I'm going to guide you. No, nothing. I've given you the template of 40 questions. I've given you the tools. Now it's in your hand to take it up and develop into an app. Right? Bhavya Khatri is asking, does MIT AI to Inventor allows us to store the data in database? Yes, Bhavya, it can be done. Right? There are 3 types of database available in what do you call? In MIT AI, MIT App Inventor. Right? You have 3 types of database. One is, as I told you, Google Firebase database is available. You can get it connected to Google Firebase and stored it in the cloud also. That is one. Second, you can also have a tiny database which can store data inside your mobile alone. And also you can use SQLite database to get it connected. So you can connect with Oracle, MySQL and SQLite databases. So that's for Bhavya Khatri, yes. Suchita Jain is asking, can we store some data in MIT? Yes, Suchita, the same question you are asking. Exactly. You can store images, you can store audios, you can store videos, you can do. Rishi is asking, how can we do app like TikTok, Ola, etc.? You need to put your hands on, Rishi. Very simple. Right? I've been using these tools like almost 2 years. Right? So I'm very frequent in using these tools. I know what to do, where to do, and how to do. So if you really wanted to make an app like TikTok or Ola, then wait for my 5th day. I will tell you how to do that. Right? Good. Madan, can the admin or developer get the app analytics? Yes, Madan. I will show you that. Right? As I already told you, if you go to the Google Firebase, no? I will go to the Firebase. I can even do OTP authentication, right? The bank processing, how you do know when you enter something and OTP comes to your message, then you enter the OTP, it gets verified. That can also be done using this MIT App Inventor and the next tool, which I'm going to share you tomorrow. Right? For example, see here, once I get inside the Firebase, I will be able to authenticate each and every user. So this is some advanced stuff. Okay. Okay. So if I get inside, get started, it goes into the Firebase. Firebase is a Google database actually, right? It's a Google's authenticated cloud server where you can access data. So I have a lot of projects already here. For example, let me say push notification went up. I will teach you that separately. Side menu navigation, yes. See here, right here, if I go to the authentication part, I will be able to see who and all signed in inside my app. See here. See, these are the 3 users who have signed in inside my app. Very simple. You can access everyone and anyone. Madan is asking Firebase is free to use. Yes, Madan, up to certain records. I think so around 10,000 records, it's free. After that, they charge you. Initially, it is free. Suchita is asking like IDs and passwords for other users. Yes, Suchita, see here. I have shown here the complete Firebase itself. The entire Google server is now accessed, where Google gives you any kind of analytics. See here, you can even see how many people are downloading your app, how many people are logging in daily, right? You can even set up sign-in methods like, see, I showed you now sign in by using Google. You can even sign up, set up methods using Facebook, Twitter, GitHub, right? Yahoo, Microsoft, Apple, all the different possible methods of sign-in is available. How do we connect the app to the Firebase? Use the Firebase component, Chintan. There is a lot many things you need to learn, and that's what I said. You need to put your hands on. Okay, can we also add 3 at a time? No, Arvind, I'm not able to get your question correctly. Bhavya Khatri, again, can we build mobile apps which can access different features of mobile like location, SMS, Bluetooth? Why not? If you see the MIT App Inventor, right? Go to the sensor section. You have a sensor known as location sensor. Right? Okay. Madan is asking me how to add second screen, multiple screens in MIT. Madan, go and experiment it. That's the simple solution I'll give you. Go and experiment it. Put your hands on. Because me teaching you all the stuffs, it's not going to work until or otherwise you get your hands on it. Right? So this is a basic tool. Okay. Tomorrow I'm going to show you an advanced tool, right? Where possibly I'm trying to show you how you can connect Firebase Analytics. I will do that. I will do that. Don't worry. Right? Okay. So is everybody clear today? What is the task for the day? Any big module app that have been developed like Swiggy. I have not done it. Probably you do it. I have not done it. Sorry. I'm pretty much not interested in developing apps. I'm pretty much interested in only exploring and teaching stuff. Right? I explore different tools, different options. I even pay for these tools, right? Sometimes to learn about it, and I explore it. That's my passion and practical. Yeah, the task is simple. Krishank is asking, what about gaming app? Okay, gaming app, it's a complete different environment. I'll tell you guys, gaming app, it's all about not even Java, right? Gaming, you need to learn something new known as Unity Web Player, where it involves C++ programming. Only that you can use to develop games. Okay, gaming is completely a different version. You cannot do it in Android Studio, right? You need to use something known as Unity Web Engine along with C++ programming. That's a complete different environment, right? So the task for the day is very simple. Create an app, right? Record a video of working of the app, right? I don't want your making of the app. I want the recording of the app, right? Krishank is saying, Krishna Pranav is saying, Yes, you can use C Sharp also, C++, C Sharp. I'm not practically, I've not tested that actually, because that involves lots of coding to be written hands-on. There is no drag and drop tool like this for developing games, right? If you really wanted to develop games, you need to type tons of codes. There is no shortcut for that. So I have not tested that, because basically I'm also a lazy person in doing that, right? Yeah, good. Okay, so I'll stop the question answer session here, right? Probably if you have some questions, post it in the WhatsApp. I'll try to answer it as well, right? But no how-to questions. If you put an how-to question, very simple, I will say you go and experiment. I've shown you the path. You need to go and experiment it, right? So that's, we'll end the session today. So the task for the day is very simple. Develop an app, record a video of the app, the working of the app, not the making of the app, and post it into your YouTube. And tomorrow when I open up the group, share the link inside here, right? One last question. What is the pros of cons of creating apps using MIT and Codler apart from actual coding? Okay, what are the pros and cons? The pro is that much faster thing, right? You really need, see, if you take this connecting of your mobile with the Google Firebase, no, it requires like 48 hours to 96 hours of lines of coding. But I developed this app within like 30 minutes. So it saves you a lot of time, a lot of energy, right? And a lot of things which you need not have to reinvent again. That's the pros, right? And when it comes to the cons, pretty much I don't feel any cons happening here, right? Because once you have reached a certain limit, there are certain features which you cannot be done in Codilla, right? That's the extreme advanced things which you cannot do it in Codilla. But you can also develop extensions for that extreme things which has to be done by coding, and you need to put it inside your Codilla. So using Codilla and tools like this, you can pretty much, there is no cons at all. If you say it in my point of view, you can do anything. You can do payment, you can install, you can put Paytm, you can put InstaMojo, or you can put Razorpay, anything you can put it inside your app using Codilla or MIT App Inventor. Okay, you will be sharing the recording of today's session. Yes, no problem. Yes, Bhavya Khatri, I will do that. Any cons in terms of scalability and high traffic? No, Madan. No, Madan. No scalability or high traffic problems will occur. See, scalability and high traffic issues are completely different. Okay, that's a different ball game. That's going to be a marketing, right? Getting your people to introduce. The cons will occur only in the development of the app. That to the highest advanced feature, if you wanted to implement in your app, that is where the highest cons comes. That can also be solved. It is not that it cannot be solved. It can be solved using the MIT App Inventor or the Codler.io as well. Okay, Suchita is asking final question. Once we build our app and deploy it, is it available for other users in Play Store that time only? Suchita, I have not yet uploaded it in Play Store. I have not yet thought about it. I have just downloaded and put it inside my mobile. So till now, it is not available to any other user except me. If I want it to be available to every other user, I need to push this app APK file inside the Play Store, which I will be sharing you tomorrow. Tomorrow or probably the day 5. I do not know what is the schedule time will take on for tomorrow. Fine. So we'll end up this session today because I need to catch up one more 9 p.m. session where I will be teaching all my students how to develop Android apps, right? That's a weekly mastermind call I go through. I have to go into that where I need to teach something new of how to develop apps. So I will get into that, right? More details on that I will be sharing on the day 5. Don't worry about it as of now, right? So for today for you is to make a app, record the working of the app and push it inside your YouTube. Get the link ready to earn your badge tomorrow, right? So thank you for joining today. Hope this session would have been the best session for the day, right? Because you have learned a lot many stuff today, right? For the last 3 days, you have learned lot many stuff, right? So see you tomorrow with another exciting set of app, right? Until then, bye bye, take care, and all the best, and God bless.